Hey everyone, welcome to my vlog. I hope everyone's having a good Christmas season, as you can tell by the tree being up. This is when it's being filmed. Today we're doing Scriptwriter Breaks Down the opening scene of Dyscopia. So it should be a good little insight to what writing the script has been like. Over black we hear 3 loud knocks before silence inevitably resumes. This just kind of highlights the fact that you're kind of going into an unknown situation. It's dark, it's a bit uneasy. Not quite as it should be. That was the intention behind that line. Hopefully it comes across well, we'll see when we get the final film. And we have interior countryside house, hallway, present day in the evening. A wooden door restricts the outside light to only peeping through its frosted window. The rustic door handle begins to rattle before click, it opens. Again, this was just kind of reinforcing the kind of gloominess of the house that we're in and kind of emphasising the fact that it's a kind of a cold environment that our lead character who's about to enter is entering into. The door reveals a fragile looking woman around her early 20s carrying a hodl and a set of keys. The keys have a photo keyring of her and an older woman hugging. This is Natalie. This is kind of a little bit of backstory, a little bit of character development for Natalie. Obviously, if you have a photo keyring of someone else, that person's obviously going to mean quite a bit to you. And so that was kind of just to kind of give the audience a little nod that there's a bit more to this character than just a live-in nurse. She hesitantly steps inside, gently pushing the door to behind her. She places her belongings down and bends down to take off her shoes. Again, this is just kind of getting her into the environment. You kind of see her. The fact that she's putting her belongings down and she's getting her taking off her shoes without having been greeted by everyone kind of shows that she's comfortable and she's been in this environment before, despite the fact that it's hinting that some things may have changed with the darkness and the gloom. Natalie, she says, "Hello, anyone home?" Natalie exits the room, tentatively looking around. She enters the living room. The living room is well kept with everything in its place. So this is kind of just like a little bit of a detail to kind of tell you what the homeowners are like who we're about to meet. Just the fact that they're very organised and everything's very much in line. It's not kind of out of step. Rosalind, a gaunt-faced middle-aged woman, sits in an armchair, slowly knitting. Obviously, gaunt-faced, she's ill. That's why Natalie's there to look after her. And slowly knitting, it's kind of a nice little hobby that elderly people tend to do. Kind of show that kind of that calm way of life, the fact that she hasn't got much to do because she is unfortunately suffering with this illness that she has. It might come into play later, you never know. A radio, just a faint, indistinguishable mumble on the small side table beside her, next to numerous containers of various medication and pills. Again, this kind of shows that the fact she has a radio on, she's quite lonely, so maybe implying that her other half who she lives with isn't there with her, and therefore she has that radio to kind of just have some noise. And then again, the medication and the pills is just kind of to highlight that she's ill, and that she is in need of some caring, which is why, as I said, Natalie is there. Rosalind, it's so good to see you again. Have the months treated you well? Rosalind, I'm taking over 10 pills a day, but I'm still alive, if that's what you mean by being treated well. The first exchange of dialogue between the two main characters, really, just kind of shows Rosalind's personality being a very cold woman, and not very, despite already knowing Natalie, she's not a very open person, and that Natalie's really got her work cut out to form a bond with this woman. Natalie begins taking off her coat. Natalie, the hospital told me the cancer is reduced drastically between scans, is that right? So again, just a bit of background information about Rosalind's illness that she has. Rosalind, so they say. Natalie is taken aback by the harshness of Rosalind's welcome, as I just previously said. Rosalind's obviously very cold. That line there kind of just lets you know that that's not how things have always been. Natalie, and Theo, how is he? Rosalind, working as usual. Again, that just kind of shows that Theo is away quite a bit and that Rosalind's used to this and isn't really fazed by it just because she's kind of brushing it off as the usual of their situation. Natalie, is he here now? Rosalind sighs as if she's already fed up with Natalie. Again, this kind of shows that Rosalind's reluctancy to be open and kind of doesn't really want anyone else in the house, and that Natalie's kind of really having to fight a losing battle to get across to Rosalind and really be there for her, and Rosalind is literally having none of it. Natalie, I know it's not easy, but you've got to grasp whatever optimism you have left and keep a tight hold of it. Rosalind, cut the shit, Natalie. Again, more of the same, more of Rosalind just really getting over that character of being very cold, woman who's not very receptive to any kind of empathy from anyone. Natalie, stunned by the coldness of Rosalind, breaks eye contact. Okay, so this kind of point here is just kind of show that at the current moment, Natalie is weaker than Rosalind. Rosalind really has that hard outer shell, and Natalie isn't very comfortable in this situation. Rosalind turns her head back. Rosalind, you know where your room is, try not to clutter the place too much. So that final piece of dialogue for this scene really just kind of sets the tone for the rest of the film, and kind of gives the audience a hint of the dynamic of the film as well, that you're going to have these two characters and it's going to be about their relationship and how it evolves. It's set out the fact that Rosalind is this harsh character who really has no time for anyone, and that Natalie is this kind of more softer, more caring and loving character. And it's a really interesting dynamic that these two have, and it's interesting to see how it unfolds throughout the rest of the script and as you'll eventually see through the rest of the film. And it's very exciting. Hopefully this has been informative to kind of get a little bit of insight to some of the minute details of this script, and kind of hopefully it's shown to you the amount of hard work and time that's gone into it, because it's been a long writing process, but it's going to be very exciting, and hopefully this has made you eager to see the film once it's released.